Oh, good morning. Had a, uh, oh wow. Had a very good long sleep. It was cold last night. I actually slept in my little Atom jacket, had my long johns on. It was, I think, just at the limit of my sleeping bag, so hopefully it doesn't get much colder any more nights here. But looks like it's a beautiful day out. The sun's gonna get out, so we can do some recharging of batteries and maybe even do some quick laundry of some socks and undies. Ooh, that would be nice. I'm a little bit ripe, and so yeah, gonna get up and start putting the tent away, have some oatmeal and some coffee, and get my butt across Burnt Lake today. That's the big task of the day. I think it's like a 780 or something like that from Little Otter Slide, where I'm at right now, into Burnt Tree Lake, and we're booting all the way across Burnt Tree, and then I think it's like a 1350 or something like that into Littledoe, and that's my day today. So let's get to it. Yes, the sun. Pumped. Now we go find the Thunderbox. Come here, Thunderbox, where are you? Oh, there she is. It's cold in here. At least that one looks in decent shape. All right, wish me luck. Great success. All right, let's go boot up the solar panel. Really hope this light or this sun lasts today. Man, is it cold in here right now. Let's see, it's maybe like 8 degrees, which makes it a little bit brisker and harder to get up in the morning. Oh man, look at all just the steam rolling off, the mist all rolling off the lake. The bay down there is all filled with mist. It's awesome. Love these kind of mornings out here. Oh, getting low on coffee. Not getting low on walnuts, though. Do a good handful today. There we go. Burner's on the wrong side there. And a little bit to the coffee, a little bit to the oatmeal. I like to add a little bit to my coffee first and give it a good stir. Get it like as mixed up with the liquid as possible, and then pour the rest. Oh yeah. Very much looking forward to that coffee this morning. there we have it. So maybe go sit on the rocks and enjoy. Come on, son. You can come out. Yeah, there we go. Start pushing. There we go. Get down here and the sun goes away immediately, of course. Maybe see if we can get a better angle there. That's better. I have to get the sunglasses out again today. No. Oh no. Not the biggest fan of oatmeal. But on days like today where you've just got like a bit of a chill that's cold, oatmeal is amazing. Woo! Oh, that coffee's hot. All right. We'll have to let that one cool down. I think I'll take that in the boat with me. So, I was basically in my boat yesterday at this time, already for about 15 minutes. It's 8:30. Not a terrible start. I won't be in the boats till 9 at the earliest. That's okay. I was looking at the map last night, and definitely, couldn't have known this at the time, but definitely wish that I'd planned for longer days. I'm kind of a get up and go person in the morning, and like arriving at 2 o'clock at a campsite is a little bit early for me. It would be great on day, like if today is like this all day and it's nice and warm, I'm gonna be stoked to get to a site that early. But when you get to a site early and it's cold and wet, like yesterday I didn't even have a fire. I was mostly because of that nap I took. But definitely have a fire tonight. Hopefully if it's not raining, because I have a feeling the rest of my trip is going to be in the rain, which is not enjoyable. Considering how cold it was and is today, and how cold it was last night. Adding the rain to the mix of the cold is not something that I'm looking forward to. So we'll enjoy the day. As we always do. Definitely feel like I've got a lot more energy after the last 2 days of getting solid sleeps. I must have slept, I went to bed at probably 9:30 again last night, slept till 7:30. So that's 10 hours plus like the 2-hour nap that I took, like 12-hour sleep yesterday. And then I think I was in bed, God, like 8:30 the day before. And woke up at 6, so it's another 10 hours sleep. And good sleep, like not just, hey, I'm in the tent, and like solid good sleep, which I can have intermittent sleep out here of like waking up 3, 4, 5 times a night. So it's really good when I only wake up a couple times and feel very rested. Oatmeal's done.
better. All right. Give this a rinse, finish up my packing, and then onward to Burnt Lake. Oh. Getting them all rigged up. These little gear ties are just, ew, little baby slug. Unknown Chomsky. Gear ties are just amazing for things like that, or lashing things down. Just grabbed a whole bunch of them before this trip and love them. Okay. Oh, squirrel's being busy. Gonna rock the solar panel here today on the bow in front of me. Getting low on batteries here. Not entirely sure how I'm gonna rig that up, so I'll do that now and show you guys on the water. The sunglasses are back on. Woo! Pretty stoked about that. So I've got the solar panel set up today. If I want to keep bringing you guys along with me, I need some battery power. So I've got this little Goal Zero Nomad. So it's got a USB plug here. I've got a USB battery in this little Sea Line bag, or not Sea Line. What are they? Sea Summit. So I doubt if I actually dumped that this would actually stay waterproof. It's more just for splash back. So I'm gonna lash it down. It's got these little lash points. I haven't put the carabiner on, but I'll probably like carabiner it to here, use the gear tie or something along those lines. But I'm gonna either rock that in front or behind me today. Just off of the campsite, haven't gone really anywhere at all. But we are heading down that direction to the first portage of the day into Burnt Lake. So let's get that done. But first, coffee. It's a good morning. All right, too much bungling this morning. Let's chug up. I've definitely adopted the bungle word from Jim and Ted Baird. They use it to describe themselves, like, messing around, or like, oh, you're digging through your bag, or just taking a long time to get your bag together. Like, they use it for fishing. Like, anyway, I just think it's a good word for, instead of like dilly-dallying or something, just that's like a high bungle morning. Today wasn't too bad. It's actually, I think it took me less time this morning with it, with putting everything together and getting ready to go than it did yesterday. And I think that's just because it was like yesterday morning was just like still kind of rainy. Everything was soaking wet, which I find takes longer to put away. But anyway. Onward with the day. This morning's paddle brought to you by Holly Bowling and Fish. 790 from Little Otter Slide to Burnt Island Lake. I kept on saying Burnt Tree Lake, I think, but anyway, another soloist I met on the other side coming this way, and yeah, this wind is picking up, but it doesn't look as bad on the other side, but I'm sure it's a way bigger lake, so I'm sure we're gonna deal with some wind conditions on the other side. All right, here we go. Nope, we're gonna go this way. So, okay, the portage is over there, just kind of in the middle of Burnt Tree. And heading over in that direction. Burning through this lake pretty quick. I'm already like halfway through it. I don't know if you guys can see this so well, but we were in here last night and did this portage, and now we're just about midway through and heading to Littledoe. So yeah, gonna be a short day it seems. Gotta add more K next time to each day. So one of the things I've been thinking about a lot this morning is my next big trip. I don't know if you guys do that, but already on this trip, I'm thinking about the next one. And for me, my next big trip is gonna be going back to the Yukon and doing flying up to Whitehorse and doing the Teslin River, starting at Johnson's Crossings, which is about an hour and a half, I guess, southeast of Whitehorse. And then that connects back to the Yukon River, and then haven't yet decided if I'm gonna go to Carmax or Minto or go all the way up to Dawson City. I did a version of this trip before, about I think it's like 11 years ago, with Adam and then two of our other friends, Cran and Whitey, and we did it in about 10 days, and that was, I guess 10 days is going to be tied with this one as the longest trips I've ever done. But with doing the Teslin, it is going to be a longer trip, and me going solo, it's definitely going to be a longer trip. So obviously depends on how far I go. Carmax is about halfway. Minto is about like 3/4 of the way, and then Dawson being the full distance. Full distance, I think it's something like 750 plus from Carmack, or from Johnson's Crossing up to Dawson City. To Carmax, it's about half that, and then, Minto about 3/4. So still not too sure. It will kind of depend on vacation and all that kind of stuff, but I have been thinking about like gear, right? And I always on trips, I think about, we should definitely bring this on a trip next time, and I don't write it down and I totally forget, so I'm recording it. So for the one thing with that trip, just to note, it's like glamping almost. Like I am gonna be rocking a 16-foot canoe, doing that solo, and I'm going to pack into the gills with gear, because in the entire distance there is not a single portage. So I'm gonna dial up food. I'm gonna be bringing my Calcutta cooler, which is basically like a hard shell Yeti cooler, to do gourmet food, have fresh food the entire time, have vegetables, have meat and stuff like that. And I find when I'm on these trips, especially when I'm solo, food is everything. Food is what drives you. It's what you look forward to, especially if the weather is not in your favor. So no portages means I can bring as much as I want. So the first thing that I'm thinking about immediately is more socks and underwear. I don't, for some trips I like to go lean. For that trip I don't need to. Like I'm thinking I might bring my 120 liter, replace one of these bags, these are each 70, with one that's 120 that I have. And just bring whatever the heck I want. So more socks and underwear, just to make when they get wet, it's just no fun. I was hoping that these socks that I brought were gonna dry faster, which they're not doing, which is not very nice. So foot comfort, as Lieutenant Dan says in Forrest Gump, always keep your feet dry. While I'm not rocking Lieutenant Dan's rules right now. I was planning on doing some laundry, but just the weather hasn't cooperated on the days that I could actually do it. The weather hasn't been in my favor. So with a trip like that, I'm just going to bring more undies for sure. I am bringing a portable shower on that trip from doing it last time. I remember we got to Dawson City and I had a extremely long shower and cleaned myself up. And, I think I felt like I could go for another 10 days at that point. So just feeling clean, I think is really important for me, at least, in the longevity of these longer trips I want to do. Also, I've seen those cool little, they almost remind me of those bat toys you used to get as a kid in the 80s. They were these little pills, and you throw them into the tub, and they turn into a dinosaur shaped foam thing, or I don't know, there's a whole bunch of different ones. So I've seen those kind of thing, that technology, for little face cloths that you just throw in the water and they unravel to a little 1x1 face cloth, which would be nice. And then in terms of filming, I definitely want to get another camera and want to get another remote, and a different arm. This arm's being great, but it's really not long enough to get the angles that I want to get, and it's precarious as hell, especially in the single boat, moving around and getting it from the bow and unclipping it in the middle of the lake. I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't done. There have been a couple close calls. Getting another GoPro with a longer arm, and then getting maybe a different one than the flexible arm that I have. And then I'm gonna have to do something about power, because thank God I got the additional battery, or I would have been screwed already. I am down to basically no battery power, so I'm on my last GoPro. I brought the battery. I brought 3 of those, and this is the last one. So I'm gonna have to get a couple more GoPro batteries along with the new camera, and I'm gonna have to figure out something else, I think, or bring a bigger battery or get another one or something along those lines. But we shall see. There's a really nice Goal Zero. It's the Goal Zero Sherpa, which I would love to get, but it is expensive. And I think I'm probably going to have to get another panel too if I want to do more filming. I would love to get a drone, but that's mucho expensive for me right now. And definitely getting a nice pair of rain pants. Alex's have been great, but in the Yukon, I need to prepare for days potentially of rain, which is what we had last time. We had 2 pretty miserable days. I think getting a sweet poncho like Adam did give me his poncho, but it hasn't been like raining enough, I feel like, for me to bring out, but definitely having something to deal with more rain would be optimal. Anyway, just gonna paddle around this bend and I'll get back to you here. But yeah, I think like that's the kind of thing I always like to think about. What can I bring? How can I make myself more comfortable? And what's reasonable to make myself more comfortable? Because if you're not comfy out here, that's when you start getting cranky and not having a good time. That's why I like, for instance, I bring 2 pillows. It's like, yeah, it's an extra, but it's so light and it makes my sleep so much better. With good sleep, it brings a good mood. So, anyway, that's my thoughts for now. Additional gear for that trip. All right, some more thoughts on this next trip. Snacks. AJ, future AJ, you did not pack enough snacks. So usually, and I think this is also maybe a product of going solo, usually just having like a bar, or like, a Cliff Bar or something like that, a fruit bar, and then like a handful of snacks. It's usually what my wife Ariel and I rock for our lunches, and usually that's enough. And I don't know if that's, you're interacting with other people and that's keeping you preoccupied, but I don't know. I don't know if it's also just the double carrying and I'm just burning more calories than I was initially thinking, but I'm just mowing through the bars and the snacks. So I think like at least a bar, maybe 2, maybe like 2 bars and a fruit bar, or 2 fruit bars and a bar minimum. I think 3 items of those, and then like 2 snack items, whether it's like a meat stick or some candies, or I don't know, something along those lines. Like at least 2. I just feel like I am rushing the snacks. Like I could have a snack right now, but I know that I'm already dwindling down, so I'm like gonna save it for later on. Today I packed myself 2 fruit bars, a Cliff Bar, and a meat stick, and I know I'm gonna crush through them. So again, like, weight's not gonna be an option. I'm gonna fly up there to Whitehorse and spend at least 1 night in Whitehorse and do like a bunch of shopping there so I can get fresh stuff. And I think also buy a good chunk of my food, because I'd rather fly up, more gear or less bags total than just flying up with a whole bunch of food. I'm definitely going to fly up with some dehydrated, and I'll still bring dehydrated meals on that trip, even with the ability to have like fresh stuff with the cooler. And that's just because I learned that the hard way. And the last time we went to the Yukon, I did all the food, and I knew that we weren't going to have portages, so we did go like pretty glamping and food without a cooler. We did, dial it up, and I had my dehydrator going for a while, for like I think 2 months or something before the trip. And we made some pretty gourmet meals, but we also had days where it was just like downpouring of rain, and we'd get to camp and set up, and we'd just like paddled like 70 plus K and just been wrecked. And like, you don't want to cook like a huge elaborate meal at that point. And on that trip we were like rotating who was cooking, right? Where for me, I'm going to be cooking all the meals obviously, so you can't even trade off with anyone. But yeah, definitely going to bring some dehydrated, so I'll get some choice ones that I like, which I've been taking note of on this trip, and fly up those. But then just getting, I'm going to have like, I know I'm going to do sandwiches. That's going to be one thing for sure. I'm going to have the cooler like right in front of me, basically. So I'll have this, work top tabletop, so I'll be able to like another thing with the bringing the 120 is I was thinking I could put like a small box in the top of it, which I could put like bread or buns for like hot dogs or whatever, you know, like definitely gonna go pretty full on with the food, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just making myself hungry just even talking about it. But yeah, being able to like make a fresh Sammy like whenever you want, just in the boat, have some condiment, be awesome. Very much looking forward to that. So, you know, with that trip, I'm planning on going at the end of June for the summer equinox. I don't know how I've like stumbled across this, but I've got this idea in my head that, you know, it would just be really cool to get up at the crack of dawn, which, you know, not really at the crack of dawn because there's not much. I think they maybe get like 2 hours of twilight or 3 hours of twilight at the summer equinox. So wake up really early and just see how many bloody kilometers I can do in a day. The last trip with the boys, we did a day that I know was over 100K. I don't know how much over, like maybe 110 or something like that. But see what I can do solo. And you know, I'll have my chair, which like I find you can, when you have the chair, you just like lock into it so much easier. You lock into the boat, and especially if I have the cooler in front of me, like I can push against that, push against the chair, and I feel like you get so much more power out of each one of your strokes. So yeah, I'm like really excited to see how many kilometers I can do in a day. And like maybe that's a day that I have a dehydrated meal, you know, just get wrecked and then take a day off. That's another thing I'm definitely going to work into that trip, is I think at least 2 days as an option that I can take off. I don't really love taking days off, but sometimes they're needed. I remember at the end of those 10 days, and we were doing, you know, I think most tours, that if you got like a guided trip from Whitehorse to Dawson, they do it in like 14 to 16 days. We did 10. So, you know, we were pushing ourselves every day. We were in the boats for like 12 hours a day. And I don't mind that, but that after, you know, pushing ourselves, we had flights to get, and we couldn't afford to take a day off. So like working that in, I think would be really good. You know, I love Algonquin Park, and I totally understand the reasons for the reservation system, but you know, some days I wish I could just keep pushing on. Like, I feel like today, now that I've done what I've done, like I could probably, if I woke up a little bit earlier, I could have pushed all the way to Timberwolf, which is the site that I'm going to tomorrow. So yeah, not really, I don't know. It was a hard decision of what to commit myself to on this trip, with never rocking one of these small boats and knowing how far I can actually confidently do in a day. And you know, I was really worried about my back. I have thrown my back out before on trips, and that would suck to do out here, but I'm feeling really strong and confident today. I think that's just, you know, some good sleep. The first couple days I didn't sleep too well, and that big day, like I wouldn't want to do, you know, day 4, the Tim River, big days like that every single day back to back. But you know, I think today I'm supposed to do like 16 or something like that. I think, you know, pushing it up to 18 to 20K, but that's all. It's so hard because you just don't know what the days are going to be like, right? You're doing like 18, 20 K a day and it's like pouring rain every single day, that's not fun. So I don't know. It's a hard gamble, but at least in the Yukon, when I'm doing all those, it's just like you don't have to register. You just keep going. You just do whatever you want to do. And I'd like to do, woodland caribou or wabakimi or, places like that. At some point to do a fly-in trip, or Adam has been on me for years about doing the Moose River, which you load up on a train with your boat and everything, and then they just like stop in the middle of bloody nowhere, and you get off and do a portage from the train tracks to the river. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I really feel like I need to do a trip like this every year. It's the thing I'm really starting to realize is like I have a pretty intense, high stress job, and this is like the best thing that I can do to unwind and detach and unplug. I feel like there's so much, I love technology, but there's so much of it, and especially the social aspect of technology, which I'm like not really part of social media too much, other than the few various things that I check occasionally. But yeah, it's definitely, I feel like the world today has a lot of unseen mental pressure on people, and just being, for me, like I'm plugged onto a computer minimum 10 hours a day, just sitting staring at a screen. That's not good, for day after day, month after month, year after year. And getting out to places like this and just, to, I guess, put it simply, live simply for a few days and, unwind and get back in touch with nature and the quietness of out here. That's one of the things that I just love, is it's just so quiet. It's great. I'm the loudmouth out here right now. Big surprise. So, yeah, this has been really good. It's been a really good trip. I'm really proud of what I've been able to do, and that I've been able to do it, confidently. And I'm, I was a little bit worried of where I'd feel at this point. What are we, day 7? Yeah, day 7, 1 week in. I'm putting my body through quite a bit, doing, quite a few big portages and consistent ones day after day, but my body is feeling real good about it. The bag's starting to finally feel a lot lighter, at least the gear bag, food bag. So that's been good. And I think as well, like, I guess I've been doing it for the past 2 days, is taking the gear bag, food bag, and the paddles first, and my life jacket, and doing that along the portage first, and checking out the portage. And then because really that's, the lighter of the two trips. The bed bag, or the house bag, is definitely lighter, but then with the canoe, I think it is a bit more heavy, and it's more awkward. Can't see as much. So doing the first load with the gear bag and really scoping the portage, I think has been making it easier for me mentally for load 2, of just knowing where I'm going, knowing what I should watch out for, what I need to be mindful of, like, steeps or slippery parts and stuff like that. So, and also just giving myself some markers along the way, for the first load, and the second, coming back for the second load. I'm like, okay, if I get, I'll remember this big rock here, this is about halfway. Or once I get to this boardwalk section, I know like I'm almost at the end or whatever. So I like to give myself those little flags, just as little pick-me-ups, if you will, on the trail. Give you a little, it's, if you've got like a big 2K portage, right? It's like pretty daunting, especially when you're doing double carries of like, oh, that's a lot of kilometers that you're doing. So if you break it down, I'm just like, okay, I just need to, you're in a long section, I just need to get to the end of this long section, or I just need to do another 2 minutes of hard pounding, and then I'll give myself a break or whatever. Just have those small little mental goals along the way, and break that big trip down into like little trips. I feel that can be, at least that works for me, to keep me motivated on the trail. So yeah, I'm really enjoying today. I'm glad the sun came out. I really hope it stays out, but I think tomorrow there's gonna be more rain, so I'm gonna enjoy this while I've got it. Okay, I'm on the first leg of the portage from Burnt Tree Island to Littledoe. There's a ton of people. I think there must be like 20 people on this portage right now. Alright, I think I'm past this huge group. I realized it's 2 school groups. One from an all boys camp or school, and one from an all girls school. Passing a lot of them just struggling on the portage has been funny. It reminds me of my old Kilku days. Give you just like god awful packs that you can hardly lift. But it's like, I look back, I hated it at the time. Look at me now, what I do. But I feel like looking back on it, it's like you have to pay your dues. You got to know that there's days that are gonna suck, and then there's really nice days like today, where this, I think this like a just over 1300, 1350 maybe meter portage, and it's feeling pretty good. Right now I'm on trip 1 still, but just the weight and everything feels really good today. Not needing to use my hands, always a benefit. Or at least be able to take the rest versus Superman it. Anyway, not a bad portage. It's pretty Algonquin Highway E, so nice and wide. Being able to pass all these people like no problem. 2 canoes going side by side, so yeah, it's an easy one, even then it's a long one. Boardwalks. Alright, so I just finished the portage, and I'm now in Littledoe Lake, and just talking to one of the school group counselors or teachers, and it sounds like there's a lot of school groups on this lake tonight, and I don't know if you can pick it up, but there's a lot of noise on this lake, so it'll be an interesting night. Anyway, it's beautiful lake, so let's go explore it. think we have found a site for the night. It is super busy in this lake. Pretty much every campsite is filled up except for one that's really close to this like, I don't know, at least 12 person group, young adolescent boys, and they're pretty rowdy, so this is pretty good. It's a beautiful lake. Just had a nice chat with the park rangers. They just came by to check my pass, interested in my route and how the portages were and campsites and whatnot. So a nice little chat there. Just making myself some tang. It's the drink of astronauts. Super busy here. It's just like school group after school group. So pretty loud, but that's okay. Hoping that tomorrow on Timberwolf will be a little bit quieter. Reminds me of my old camper days. These big groups, so I can't complain about them. So they are making the future campers of tomorrow. So there you go. Blocking my solar. Just slowly moving this around and tracking the sun. I think I'm gonna have to go for a swim here. It's a real nice day here. Real nice day. All right, it's about 5:45. Just did a bunch of harvesting of wood. Got a bunch of brush over there, some bigger stuff. But yeah, should be good for a fire tonight. And I'm gonna go for a swim and then start the fire, start cooking dinner. Beans.